What would happen if a girl had two husbands? What if in a parallel world, where marriage is so free that girls can marry multiple men, and men can do the same? A world where gods and humans coexist, and tribes fiercely compete with each other. In the Changha River tribe today, a beautiful girl, the daughter of the tribe leader, is getting married. She is to be wed to the leader of a powerful and dominant tribe in the east. His military expedition will cease when this peace-seeking marriage is finalized. Oh Shin, the petite bride with long flowing hair like a gentle stream, deep blue eyes, dressed in a red bridal attire adorned with expensive jewelry. She wears small drop-shaped earrings that sparkle like her eyes. By putting them on, she officially becomes the wife of that unfamiliar man, even while still in her own home. The maid Anro tearfully embraces her face, lamenting, "How can our little Miss Oh Shin marry such a ruthless man?" Oh Shin gently laughs to console her, "Since this is a political marriage, he won't mistreat me too much." However, her gaze seems deeper than usual. Oh Shin covers her head with a flower-patterned cloth and steps out of her room. In the eastern fortress, outside the streets, people are welcoming a victorious war deity. They praise his feats, mentioning how at the age of 18, he killed a wolf deity, ate human flesh, and thereafter always wore the wolf deity's skin. Amidst the cheers, there are also words of resentment. Someone who has killed so many people in conquests is more of a demon than a war deity. But they only dare to speak quietly to each other because those on horseback truly possess the strength of a deity, powerful and ruthless. Upon returning to the royal palace, Nasaya happily asks Surin about the success of the strategy she devised, expecting a great reward. Entering the private corridor, a girl comes forward to greet him. She approaches slowly, bowing to Nasaya. Observing her rare beautiful eyes and hair, along with the water-drop-shaped earrings matching his, Nasaya is sure that the woman in front of him is his new wife. "Oh Shin, are you waiting for me?" She bows her head, greeting her husband as per family tradition. "I heard you've just returned victorious, about that." Nasaya leans down close to her, his hand gently caressing her hair, lifting it and lightly kissing a strand. "I'm delighted that my lady came to welcome me. Is there anything noteworthy that happened while I was away?" Nasaya solemnly mentions that he found a small chameleon in the courtyard and wants to show it to her. Just then, Surin approaches, in a composed manner. She greets the newly returned master with a smile. Nasaya immediately goes with Surin to the war room to discuss recent events. Surin, an excellent politician, helps Nasaya govern the conquered lands, as not all problems can be solved through force. Thanks to her, Nasaya has gained vast territories and the admiration of the people everywhere. Oh Shin sadly looks up at a pair of azure butterflies fluttering together on a branch. She wonders if Surin and Nasaya have a relationship similar to hers with him. In moments of ecstasy, did he share a part of his heart with Surin? Did he embrace Surin the way he embraced her? Feeling melancholic, she orders not to be disturbed and returns to her private palace. Outside, a small black chameleon lies in a wooden tub, looking up at her. It was injured the day before, and Oh Shin had saved it, bandaging its wound. Perhaps it's healed now. She gently removes the bandage, talking to the creature as she does so. After removing the bandage, she bids farewell to it and turns away. The little chameleon unexpectedly jumps towards Oh Shin. "You don't want to leave, huh? Are you lonely too?" Oh Shin coos, holding the small black creature gently. "Well then, stay here with me," she says, as caring for a small creature isn't too difficult. As soon as she finished speaking, a strong force pressed Oh Shin down on the bed. In the blink of an eye, a tall, dark-skinned, and naked man pressed down on her and kissed her. "Oh Shin, I've been waiting for you to say that," he said. Her hand was placed on his chest. "I want you too," he said urgently. Then he passionately kissed her, making Oh Shin unable to cry out. nor able to resist such strong suppression from such a strong young man. However, he did not act harshly, strongly but still very gentle. Hearing strange noises in the room, the house servant ran to the house, knocked on the door and rushed inside. The scene they saw was a nude couple, and Mr. Nasaya and Surin were also standing and looking at them. Without questioning Shin or inquiring about the unfamiliar man in the room, Surin and Nasaya whisper to each other. One suggests perhaps they shouldn't kill, and the dragon deity could be useful. The other nods in agreement. On the other side, Shin wonders why they speak so intimately. After all, she is his wife, right? Now there's another unfamiliar face in the royal castle, the dragon deity, someone with eyes that see through everything. Today is the royal wedding ceremony. The people in the streets are excited about this information. Will Nasaya take another wife? No, it seems Lady Shin is getting another husband. Maybe that won't be a problem. Lady Shin and Lord Chion, the reborn dragon deity, are presenting themselves to the royal family. As she walks, she recalls the promise made during her and Nasaya's wedding, where he said he would never abandon her. So, marrying someone else now, isn't that abandonment? Chion returns and lifts her head wrap, saying, Shin, don't cry. Marriage is a good thing. I've been looking forward to this day since you saved me. Yes, you might not be happy right now, but if you use the love I give you, those eyes, you will have everything. Shin stares in astonishment at her new husband. Surin is pleased with this wedding, anticipating that the relationship between Nasaya and Lady Shin will now be less intense, and Shin's eyes will be able to see everything. Nasaya quietly thinks, so from now on, use those bright eyes to see. Eyes that can see the truth. Shin looks up, asking, the truth. Why does she need the truth? Shin sees a scene in Nasaya's mind. He promises to always save her, no matter what happens. This leaves her stunned. Is this the power of the dragon eyes? Chion smiles beside her. It seems you've just seen something interesting. So choose wisely because some choices can reverse fate. In the honeymoon suite, Shin is still dreaming about what she saw when Chion lifts her up. He asks playfully, is my wife busy thinking? He continues, today, you won't refuse me, right? Shin bows her head, saying, I cannot refuse you as a wife. He started his game, both probing and strong. I'll try to make you happy. The dragon god's desire to possess no longer needed to be hidden. He threw himself on her body, usurping every corner with his tongue and hands. He forcefully placed his big thing inside her, full of excitement and joy of victory. Chion whispered with utter joy, Shin, from now on no one will be able to deny our relationship. He happily shared with her the thought of having a child with her before Nasaya, and then the child would have beautiful eyes like hers. That made every time he thought about it, his lower part always stiffened. Shin got tired and fell asleep. In the dream, she and Nasaya are together. He greedily controls her. Kiss her body, and do the same thing Chion did to her, nervously afraid of losing a treasure. Shin had experienced her first night with her second husband. The next morning, she woke up near noon, feeling sore all over her body. Today, she had to meet Nasaya, and she was running late. Surin told her maid that Shin was tired and needed more rest, and she would inform Nasaya. This didn't sit well with Shin. Surin seemed to hold more power in this household than she did. Arriving late, Shin saw Nasaya waiting for her at the tea table with various snacks. She explained the reason for her tardiness, but Nasaya didn't blame her. He raised his hand gently to kiss it, saying, what husband wouldn't want to wait for his wife? Nasaya's eyes widened, focusing on the red mark on Shin's wrist. It's been a while since we had time together. We should make everything perfect, shouldn't we? I have a lot to say to you, he added. After enjoying tea and pastries, Nasaya broached the topic of their intimate relationship. While it might be a bit awkward, they were, after all, husband and wife. This matter became even more crucial as their child would be the heir. Therefore, planning the day of their intimacy was not just a mere schedule, it was a way to create private space for each other. Shin awkwardly refused it today. She had just done it with Chion. She would be too tired. After a few sentences, Nasaya agreed to change to another date and make an appointment with her later. Say it and leave. Shin stood there silently. She had just seen through her husband's mood for a moment, with the power of a dragon's eye. Arriving at his palace, Shin was still very sad. Nasaya had not been out in his palace for a few days, probably because of that. She felt deeply sad and guilty, because she had failed to fulfill her duties as a wife to Nasaya, so perhaps he was. Chion suddenly appears. He asks about her, and hints to tell her about the reason Nasaya is so evasive, on the condition of a kiss. Without waiting for her to agree, he grabbed her waist and pulled her close and kissed her voraciously, then whispered in her ear, Nasaya is cursed. Chion gripped Shin's hand tightly, allowing her to see Nasaya's mind. He struggles with desire alone, a curse from the wolf deity before his death. Nasaya had killed him, seizing the deity's power, but was punished with immortality and agony. Shin's eyes ache from using her power for too long. Chion supports her, warning that she might get a fever if she overuses her strength. Concerned for Nasaya, her second husband consoles her, claiming it is his problem, as he caused it. Ultimately, he cannot prevent Shin from going to Nasaya's palace. She obeys him because he saved her from being sent to Chion, a dreaded place, to marry a formidable stranger. He protected her, and now she will stand by him. Even being Chion's wife is a way to repay Nasaya. Shin arrives at Nasaya's palace and is stopped by guards. Fortunately, an old family servant from her childhood intervenes, referring to her as Miss instead of Nasaya's wife. He still treats her with the reverence one would give to a cherished relic of the deceased, her late mother. Shin calls for Nasaya from outside. At first, he mistakes her for Surin and denies her entry without his consent. Realizing it is his wife outside, Nasaya becomes even more unwilling to let her witness his current state. However, Shin persists and steps inside. With determination, she stands by her husband as he struggles to control himself. I won't abandon you, Nasaya. Allow me to be with you, she declares. Nasaya touches Shin's face, moved, saying, I'll try not to hurt you. He begins their intimate moments, slow and tender, like delicately handling a fragile gem in his hand. You seem strange today, not as shy as usual, Nasaya joyfully remarks. Shin responds, claiming it's the first time she has seen Nasaya so relaxed. Nasaya bleed from his nose as he tried to control the emotions that were rising in his body. He kissed Shin cautiously and passionately in a hurry, from top to bottom. Shin groaned, Mr. Nasaya, please save face. She was ashamed that the noblest man of the East was bending his face between her legs. That's not possible right now, Nasaya laughed, intently attentive to her joy. You're from a noble background, and I. As her father said, it's like a beast. His words didn't mean to be reproachful at all, he just wanted to say that his wife was really beautiful. While carrying her legs up, Nasaya kissed each toe with her tongue. The tickling and vibration sensation being transmitted to Shin's body was strong, making her unable to take it anymore. All her shy feelings were exposed. Moans filled the room. Nasaya felt happier than ever. In his mind it was only the wolf god's sarcasm, that Nasaya would destroy everything that belonged to him. But now, Nasaya knows he can be with Shin without harming her. I won't destroy her, because she's my wife, Nasaya smiled contentedly. Underneath Nasaya, she hugged her stomach and told him to stop, she couldn't take it anymore. The delicate skin of her belly bobbed like a creature playing inside, deep inside her belly. Nasaya was in a frenzy. He couldn't stop. Don't you have to say you're going to accept it? You're my wife. The more he said, the harder he pressed down on her hips, his hands clasping her breasts. Bear it a little more, oh Shin, he pleaded with a seemingly impossible game.